Ooh, Elite TMs. The special Elite Fast and Charge TMs are TMs that you can only obtain during certain events, like a community day where you can buy from the shop, or in fact, doing Go Battle League battles and completing a certain number of sets. So today we will check out what they can be used on, as I'll be sharing with you guys the top Pokemon to actually use the Elite Fast and Charge TM on. Alright, so hi to all of you guys. So yes, I have a total of 47 Elite Fast TM and 45 Elite Charge TM. Of course, for those of you who have been collecting the Elite TMs, you guys would know that sometimes after you have already Elite Fast or Charge TM your Pokemon, you may run out of ideas on what Pokemon you can Elite to actually get better moves. Today I'm going to share with you guys a few of the Pokemon, a total of 20 Pokemon, 8 of them being legendary, 12 of them being non-legendary, to see if you guys want to use your Elite Fast or Charge TM on them. Of course, for those of you who kind of recently started the game, it wouldn't be as ideal to use the Elite Fast or Charge TM on your current Pokemon, but to wait for future, as there will always be events that will give you extra TMs, or in fact events where you can actually evolve some of the Pokemon that I'm going to showcase to you guys to get the community day move or the special move for them in the future. Alright, so without further ado though, let's go ahead to go into my Pokemon storage, just Incense and Mawile, but we're going to leave it there as it is. So for the special move legendary Pokemon, basically what you can search for, if you want to search for the signature move, the Elite TMable move, you can put add special. Okay, and all the Pokemon with the Elite Charge TMable moves and special moves, including those that are non-Elite TMable, example Spatial Ren from Palkia, will all appear. Yes, I'll explain to you guys in a bit, but special moves such as Side Strike, all those will appear if I were to put and Mewtwo. Okay, all my Mewtwo is Side Strike and Shadow Ball, they'll all appear. I have a total of 177 of them, including those with Frustration and also Return. But if I put an exclamation in front of the special, all those without the special move, such as this particular Hundo Mewtwo over here, right? It's a Hundo Mewtwo, and it's the one that I showed in a video before that I glitched the location, or shall I say the location was glitched, alright? And it has the move Thunderbolt, which isn't a special charge move at all, alright? In order to glitch the location and show that it's not remotely caught, basically you are in a place that the GPS wasn't working when I was in the elevator. I explained in the full video, so go ahead to check it out. Alright, so anyway, let's go ahead to go back to here. Let's go back to here and sort by recent. Alright, great. So the first Pokemon that we'll be looking at is actually Groudon. So Groudon, the way to actually get it to become even better is actually to give it Precipice Blade. Precipice Blade is Groudon's signature move. In order to get it, if you do not have it on the Pokemon yet, the best move you can get is Earthquake, which isn't as good as Precipice Blade. You have to use an Elite Charge TM on it, so you have to basically go here, go to your item, and just tap Elite Charge TM. You then have a choice to actually choose which you want to remove. Of course, I'm not going to remove Precipice Blade and then to get another move, but let's go ahead to use it on a Groudon that doesn't have that. So let's go ahead to here, go here. This one has Earthquake. I'm going to see if we can get Precipice Blade on it. Hit that here. So Precipice Blade appears. So we have Fire Punch, Precipice Blade. Those two are actually Elite Charge TMable moves. The other two, Fire Blast and Solar Beam, you do not have to use Elite Charge TM. Alright, so I would recommend to actually get that on the Groudon that you want to use for your Primal, as Precipice Blade, trust me, is a way better move to get than Earthquake itself. So that's the first Pokemon. The next Pokemon we're looking at is Kyogre. Kyogre with Origin Pulse will make it better in about 60% of the situation. 40% of the situation you will still want to use Surf, because in certain situation, example, if you're using Primal Kyogre or Kyogre to fight against a Primal Groudon, and the Groudon actually has Earthquake or Fire Blast, great! Origin Pulse will be better because you can survive that one shot from the charge move itself. However, if it's Solar Beam from the Groudon, it will one-shot KO the Kyogre. With that in mind, if you have not even used your Origin Pulse and the Solar Beam comes in and knock out your Kyogre totally, it would have been better if you actually use one Surf on the Groudon instead of not doing any charge move at all. Alright, hopefully you guys understood that, but basically if anything one-shot KOs the Kyogre, the Origin Pulse is not as good, but as long as you can survive one charge move, the Surf, the Origin Pulse is better. Alright, so let's go ahead to check out the next Pokemon. That's going to be Mewtwo. Mewtwo, you would actually want to kind of prepare 2 Mewtwo's. The reason for that is because in the future, when Mega Mewtwo comes, alright, you will want to use one with Side Strike, and the other one, the second move, is Shadow Ball. With that, Mega Mewtwo Y, the one that's a pure Psychic type one, would actually be a very good Psychic type attacker. In fact, the #1 Psychic type attacker with Side Strike. And Shadow Ball, using it against Mewtwo or Mega Mewtwo, would actually be the best Ghost type attacker, quote unquote. I mean, despite the fact that it doesn't really have a Ghost type fast move, it will still be better with the Shadow Ball. So that's one thing I would recommend, to actually use your Elite TM on Mewtwo. Another thing though, which I didn't mention, if you guys want to use it on your Shadow Pokemon, your Shadow Groudon, Shadow Kyogre, Shadow Mewtwo, yes, it is even better to use it on your Shadow Pokemon, because those Pokemon, you cannot raid, you cannot catch them to actually get the signature moves, so saving the Elite Charge TMs for those Shadow Form Legendary would actually be better, alright, and they are stronger, regardless of the IVs. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the next one. That's going to be Reshiram. Alright, Reshiram with Fusion Flare is one that I would recommend to get. It is an Elite TMable move, and I would recommend getting it as it propels Reshiram from being like one of the top 5 attacker to like the top 2, alright, depending on the situation. Of course, Darumaka, Shadow Darumaka is better in terms of DPS, but Reshiram is still a very, very strong fire type attacker, and I recommend getting the Fusion Flare on it. Right, next Pokemon that we'll be looking at is actually Zekrom. Right, Zekrom actually has access to Wild Charge, but Fusion Bolt is better in most situations, so using Fusion Bolt is better. So I recommend Elite Charge TMing it if you actually have a good IV one, like a Hundo, etc. So this one was actually a Hundo, and I did not have a Fusion Bolt on this Elite Charge TM to get it. Likewise for the Reshiram too, right? If you see the year that was caught, it was caught during the pandemic, 28th of May 2020. And this was the one that I actually made a video on, Hundo or nothing. And I did not get myself the Fusion Flare, of course, because at that point of time Fusion Flare wasn't released, so I Elite Charge TM it to actually get Fusion Flare. Alright, next Pokemon we'll be looking at Zapdos. Now Zapdos is the one that's quite interesting, because a lot of people think like, hey, there are no like legendary Pokemon that you need to use Elite Fast TM on. Well, this is the one that I'll recommend using on. Alright, you can get Thunder Shock. In order to get Thunder Shock, you have to use the Elite Fast TM on it. If you use the regular Fast TM, you can never get it, alright, because Thunder Shock is basically like a special move that Zapdos can get if you actually Elite TM for it. And it's a good Pokemon to use, but not exactly the best electric type. But if you have one, you want to get it, great, you can get it. I actually have a total of 2 or 3 Zapdos with Thunder Shocks. Alright, so let's go ahead to check out the next one. The next one is going to be the Moltres, and Shadow Moltres, of course, is a very strong flying type attacker. It's second behind of Mega Rayquaza or Rayquaza also. Okay, so we want to get Sky Attack on it. In order to get Sky Attack, you have to use the Elite Charge TM. This one is the one that is not the Shadow, it's just the regular one, but I am using the Shadow one most of the time as a flying type attacker. Of course, Mega Rayquaza with the Rayquaza Dragon Ascent makes it really strong, but not everyone has access to the Meteorite, which I'll talk a little bit more about too. Alright, so the next one is also, of course, Mewtwo again, repeated, but Mewtwo with a Side Strike and Focus Blast. This is the one that you want to use for Mega Mewtwo X, which is a Psychic and Fighting typing one. However, it wouldn't be the #1 fighting type attacker, because eventually when Mega Lucario comes, Mega Lucario will be the #1 fighting type attacker, whereas this will just be used as, I guess, depending on the situation. Alright, next one is going to be, something that I want to talk a bit about, that we can't get actually. So if you guys can see, actually I have a total of 10, but we're just only, I'm going to talk about just the 8. As I would like to talk a little bit about some Pokemon that you cannot get the moves. Example, Rayquaza. So you can see Rayquaza over here. I have the one with Dragon Ascent. If we were to look for one that does not have Dragon Ascent, for example like this, if I want to Elite Charge TM to get Dragon Ascent, it actually would not be possible. It will show over there, Dragon Ascent needs Meteorite. See? I cannot even select it to actually Elite Charge TM it. So a move like that is so special that you cannot even Elite Charge TM for it. Likewise for the other, excuse me, what's going on? I did not do that. I did not do that. Okay, my sweaty palm is kicking in. Okay, all good. Anyway, I just want to show you guys that for Dialga, the origin form, Roar of Time, you can get it only once from the raid. You cannot even Elite Charge TM it for the Spatial Rend, the same thing for now. Alright, but in the future, when we can do it, hopefully it happens, we would then be able to do them to, change the moves, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and put exclamation at special and Dialga. So I have a Dialga over here with Thunder, the origin form. So if I were to actually use an Elite Charge TM on it, Roar of Time doesn't even appear. Okay, it doesn't even appear for me to actually select at all. As for Palkia wise, I have only one Palkia that does not have the Spatial Rend in the origin form over here. Okay, just showing you guys. So over here it has Hydro Pump, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and Elite TM it. Boom, no Spatial Rend appearing at all. So that's the move that you actually want to get in the future when it's possible to Elite Charge TM. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen, but let's hope it does. Alright, now let's go to check out the non-legendary ones. For the non-legendary ones, I'm gonna sort it out like this. Just let you guys know though, whatever I'm showing you guys, they are not ranked in any order in terms of which one to actually Elite Fast or Elite Charge TM first. It really depends entirely on you, depends on what you already have in your arsenal. Whether you want to improve your rock typing, category one, or you want to improve your dark typing category or dragon typing category, it depends on what you already have. I would recommend focusing on the ones that you're lacking in terms of the typing and upgrade the typings accordingly. That's what I normally do. For the 18 typings, that's what I do. Okay, so let's check out the first non-legendary one, and that's going to actually be Rhyperior with Rock Wrecker. So Rhyperior with Rock Wrecker, if you actually change the move to Smackdown, you can change the fast move to Smackdown without using any Elite TMs at all. So Smackdown Rock Wrecker, if you have the Shadow form, the Shadow Rhyhorn, that will actually be a very strong Rock type attacker. Rock Wrecker has to be Elite Charge TM, and I recommend to use it on a Shadow Rhyperior if you actually want to get that. Of course, you can also wait for an event to evolve the Rhydon into Rhyperior to get the Rock Wrecker, which was what I did for my Shadow Metagross. Yep, you can save those TMs. So the next one we will be looking at is actually Garchomp. Garchomp with Earth Power is actually the second best ground type attacker in the game. Depending on situation, if it triple resists electric, great. In those situations, then the Garchomp will be good, especially when it triple resist opposed to Groudon double resisting. But in terms of pure damage wise, Primal Groudon takes the cake all the time. Okay, so next Pokemon that I recommend to get, which is going to be Metagross. Metagross, you can get Meteor Mash if you actually use the Elite Charge TM on it. Alright, but now of course we can't get it, we already have it. So the reason why I'm going to recommend to get it is because it is the #1 Steel type attacker in the entire game as a Mega form. Even Shadow Metagross is the #1 attacker, so if you actually want to get yourself the best possible Steel type attacker, go ahead to Elite Charge TM your Shadow Metagross if you actually have a lot and you do not want to wait for an event to come, but it's going to probably come in the future, not too sure when. We just have to wait for a few more months or maybe years for Beldum Community Day Classic to happen. I'm pretty sure that will happen, so you can wait for that too. Alright? Next Pokemon is going to be Salamence, or should I say Shadow Salamence 2, with the move Outrage. That is a Community Day move that you have to Elite Charge Team, and I recommend to get it because Shadow Salamence is still the top tier Dragon type attacker. In the future, you'll be taken over by other legendary Pokemon like Shadow Rayquaza, Shadow Kyurem, Shadow Black Kyurem, sorry, etc. But it's going to be a very long wait before that happens, so you can use your Elite Charge Team on 1 or 2 Shadow Salamences if you actually want to get yourself the moves. Or if you actually did evolve them during the Bagon Community Day Classic, great, you can use them too without using any Elite Charge TMs. The next Pokemon we will be looking at is Swampert. Swampert is no longer the #1 water type attacker, but I would say though in a lot of situations, especially when you want to use them to fight like rockets, etc., or in fact use it in a certain situation to boost XL candies while using a pretty good water type attacker, getting Hydro Cannon on a Swampert, Mega Swampert is actually very, very useful. Next Pokemon we'll be looking at is actually Blaziken. Blaziken would have access to Blast Burn, basically the starter Community Day move. If you do not have that, I would recommend to actually get it because Blaziken is still the #1 Mega Fire type attacker in the entire game for now. There's another one that's of course Charizard, but depending on situation, how you want to utilize the boost from either a fighting or a flying type typing, or in fact in certain situation where the Charizard actually does resist because of its flying typing, it would then be better. But we will talk about that later on. Alright, next Pokemon we'll be looking at is Sceptile. So Sceptile is the #1 grass typing Pokemon with a Frenzy Plant. That's the move that you want to Elite Charge TM for if you do not have one Sceptile yet. I would recommend getting one that is good IVs. Of course, for me, I only do it to my Hundos, and it's not easy to get the Hundos, I understand, but if you want to do it to any of your other IV ones, nobody is stopping you from it. But remember, the Elite TMs are very, very precious and hard to come by, so you may want to consider that. Next Pokemon that we'll be talking about, which most people kind of forgot that Gengar actually has a Community Day move, is Shadow Punch, but we do not want to Elite to actually get Shadow Punch, but instead we want to get Lick as the fast move. So you can use an Elite Fast TM to Elite to get Lick. Lick, depending on the certain situation, is actually better than using Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw, you do not have to use an Elite TM, but Lick you have to. So I'll recommend getting one. I actually have both the Shadow Claw and Lick one. In certain situation, I will alternate between either. Alright, next Pokemon is going to be Tyranitar. Yes, Tyranitar is Smackdown. That's the Pokemon that you want to get. It is currently the second best Mega Rock type attacker in the game. #1 is Mega Diancie, of course. So if you want to get yourself this, and energy to get for this particular Pokemon is not as tough as Diancie, because Diancie you pretty much have to walk with it and clock the distance to actually get the energy, whereas for this you can actually do raids, which I'm pretty sure in the past there have been a few times that you have raided to actually gotten the energy. If you did not, it's okay, it will always be back. Okay, so Smackdown is the one that you want to get if you want to get a good rock type attacker in the Mega form. Next Pokemon we'll be looking at is Hydreigon. Alright, Hydreigon with Brutal Swing is a very good Dark type attacker. Of course, you want to change the fast move also to Bite. You can do it to it just by using the regular TM. You do not have to use the Elite TM. So Bite, Brutal Swing, that's the one that you want to have. Of course, in the future, I'm just waiting for Shadow Hydreigon to be out. Shadow Dano one is out. It will be the #1 Dark type attacker in the game. So I'm waiting for that to happen, and from there we will then see how good it will be as a Shadow Dark type attacker with Brutal Swing. Alright, next Pokemon we're looking at is actually Haxorus. I think this is into the honorable mention already. So I've already talked about the 10. The last two honorable mention, why I say they're honorable mention is because Haxorus doesn't have the shadow form yet, but in the future when it does, Dragon Tail with Breaking Swipe will be really, really good, as its attack stat is really, really high. Breaking Swipe is an Elite TMable move, and it's a Community Day move, so you can either wait for a Community Day or you can Elite Charge TM it to get Breaking Swipe. Next Pokemon is going to be Charizard. I know a lot of you guys might be puzzled why I actually put Charizard as an honorable mention. It's because Blaziken has really taken over the position as the top fire type attacker. So if you want to use Mega Charizard Y, the one that is stronger, the one that is the one that I always use, Fire Spin and Blast Burn is the one that you want to get. Blast Burn is the one that you have to Elite Charge TM for. However, in most situations, I prefer to use Blaziken, unless, you know, the Charizard actually would boost extra Candy XL when I'm using it as a flying attacker too. I mean, flying type Pokemon too. Alright, but it would definitely be a fire type attacker. Alright, so that's basically it, man, in terms of all the Pokemon that I will recommend using your Elite Fast and Charge TM on. Let me know in the comment section down below what Pokemon are you guys going to use your Elite Fast and Charge TM on, and if you guys have been considering, pondering for quite a bit, I'll recommend always to have a total of minimum 10 Elite Fast TM and about 12 Elite Charge TMs. Actually, you know what, about 6 Fast TMs and 12 Charge TM would be good. Why I say in the future, maybe the shadow forms, you want to change them, you can actually change them anytime, but even if you run low on them, remember, they'll always be back. Even if you're only left with 2 Elite Charge TMs or whatsoever, you can always slowly get them back when you actually play Go Battle League, or in fact, buy them for the Community Day box. Alright, so that's it from me, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely remember to leave a like on the video. It'd be much appreciated. Thank you very much. And also to share the video with your friends if you guys think that it will be helpful for your friends and your community too. Alright, so with that said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode in the next video. Who am I going to Elite Charge TM? I'm going to Elite Charge TM PGs. Just kidding. Alright, so goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.